Confident AF Live, taking your mindset next level to get next year's results today with me, your host, Brandon Foster. Are you a badass peep with big dreams, ready to turn your unrealistic goals into reality? Confident AF Live is the gateway to enormous new opportunities and unlimited possibilities. The unrealistic can suddenly become realistic for you if you believe it. Are you ready to take your dreams and results to the next level? Then stay tuned as we help crack open the door to new ways of impactful thinking and believing about yourself with mindset practices for badass people like you. Confident AF Live starts right now. What up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Confident AF Live with me, Brandon Foster. Today, we're going to talk about the underestimated power of small steps. I'm super excited for doing this. You guys know I'm known as the confidence coach, next level mindset expert, but more importantly, the encourager for all of you badass business owners with big dreams, big goals. And so today, I'm going to teach you one of the most valuable things that I have learned after coaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs as they pursue their dreams, goals, and aspirations for their own businesses. And I couldn't be more excited. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and also following me on Instagram, boo, at Brandon R. Foster. I got some really amazing, encouraging reels and short form stuff over there. So make sure you're doing that. And if you haven't joined our community on Facebook, Confident AF Mindset Practices Facebook group, make sure you do that as well. So why am I talking about the underestimated power of small steps? Because when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I always thought that you had to take this like crazy, massive action. And if you didn't take crazy, massive action, then you didn't have faith or believe in your dreams. And it meant that like you didn't believe that they were from God or from the divine and that the universe had your back and you had to like, I don't know, I get this mental picture of like throwing myself off a cliff and just hoping and praying that there is a parachute at the bottom. And as I say that, I remember Steve Harvey had a really funny quote which said, "The parachute is never going to open unless you jump out of the plane." And I believe that too. So I think what I really want to talk about today is, and I think it's a challenge for a lot of badass business owners, is how far is too far to go with that risk? How far is too far to step outside of that comfort zone? And the truth is, only your heart knows. And I really believe that faith is what matters more than anything else, because I truly believe that if you really, really, really believe in your heart that it's safe for you to do it, you are safe to do it. The parachute will open and you will be okay. I think sometimes what happens is we want to believe that it's safe to okay to jump out of the plane, but we don't actually believe it's safe to jump out of the plane. And then we do jump out of the plane, and that's when things get a little bit hairy, okay? If you are a faith-based person, it's like when Peter's walking on the water and he's fine until he looks and realizes he's walking on the water and then he starts drowning. So I feel like we do that sometimes in our own businesses, that we are walking on the water, everything is cool. And then we're like, oh shit, I'm walking on the water. And then it's like, oh, now it's not okay. And then we start drowning. So I want to talk about the underestimated power of small steps. And I want to start off with like a really, really simple example. I think any person that is starting their own business or in the middle of growing their business, one of the biggest challenges that you face is you always want to invest money back into the business because you want to see the business grow. You want to see the business flourish. So of course you want to do more marketing. You want more bells and whistles. You want to do more things. And I would just say that there is no end to how much you can actually invest or put back into your business. And so knowing there's no end, one of the things that I notice working with a lot of entrepreneurs is sometimes they're afraid to pay themselves, especially if an entrepreneur has a 9-to-5 funding source and they're building the business so it can become their full-time job and they want to transition. And I remember I had this amazing one-on-one client And like every one-on-one call was like, have you paid yourself yet? No, not yet, but I'm gonna. All right, are you gonna pay yourself this time? No, not yet, but I'm gonna. And I finally told him, I said, look, your affirmations and how you talk to yourself is not actually integrating because you're refusing to take the action that actually matches the words that you're telling yourself. Because I would tell her, it's safe for me to pay myself from business. It's safe to trust that money flows through my business, just like it did through my 9 to 5. I'm safe to grow. I'm safe to expand. I'm safe to pay myself. And she was using these affirmations, but she's not actually doing them. And I told her, I said, you're feeling better about it. You have to actually do it too, because that's how it stacks. And what happened is she had this in her head that unless she could pay herself the actual full salary that she was already making in her 9 to 5, then it didn't count. Like it didn't matter. And I was like, boo, that is crazy talk. You're building your business right now. You need to start small and stack it. And I told her, I said, I don't care if you pay yourself half of your salary. I don't care if you pay yourself $1,000. I don't care if you pay yourself $500. I don't even care if it's $20. I said, but I want you to understand what it feels like to see the money go from your business into your bank account and feel how good that feels. I want you to feel how good it feels to be paid for what you do. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel it. I want you to love it. I want you to experience that, because once you pay yourself the first time, now you know what it feels like. So now when you go back to affirm that for your business, it's going to be like, oh, wait, yes, it is. And I've already started doing it. And that's how you stack it. That's how you stack your belief. And that's how you stack your thought. Because oftentimes affirmations are used to integrate a new belief. A belief is just a pattern of thought you choose to think over and over again. So when we're changing our old paradigms, our old patterns of thinking, we're choosing these new affirmations or new beliefs of how we want our reality to be. And it's just a gradual step. It's a gradual progression that we integrate, connecting new neural pathways in our brain. So when we do those affirmations, it's really important that we take some practical action that mirrors that affirmation to allow it to actually integrate into our being and our reality. And what I discovered is anytime you can start with a small habit, no matter what that habit is. And remember, a habit is something you do over and over and over again. It's a repetitive choice based on a repetitive pattern. So it's a repetitive pattern of choices. So for me, a new habit I have is that as soon as I get up, I see my kittens. Well, they're about to turn 1 year old. Happy birthday, Betty and Stuart. We love you. 2 cats. So they're about to turn 1 year old, and they really do have the personality of dogs, which I love. So as soon as the door opens up, I open up the door in the morning from a bedroom. Betty and Stuart are right there. And they usually, as soon as they see that I open the door, then they run to their scratching post and they each scratch. And then they start running their, bumping up against my legs or what have you. And that's my cue to feed them, because I see them, they're hungry. I can tell they're hungry, and then I feed them. After I feed them, my next cue is, okay, where does the food go? It comes out the other end. I need to go clean their litter box. So the way that habits work, and if you want to dig deeper into this, there's a great book by James Clear called Atomic Habits, and he goes into really deep psychology of habits and why we do them. But basically with habits, we have a cue that hits us, and based on that cue, that cue reminds us to take a certain action. And usually that action is based on, habits that we do are based on believing that that action has a positive impact and that it is worth repeating. So with the kittens, the reason why it's so important for me to clean the litter box is because when we first got them, when they were kittens, we weren't used to having 2. We had 1 cat before, and he really didn't like poop and pee a whole lot. So we could go 2 or 3 days before cleaning the litter box, and there like just wasn't a lot in there. And we found early on with like these kittens, like it was a lot. Like they were always pooping, they were always peeing, and you go 2 or 3 days and it's like you feel like a horrible cat dad. And what we noticed is that we felt like, well, number one, we knew we needed to change the pattern. We needed to change the habit because 2 to 3 days was not going to work. It had to be done like every day and potentially twice a day. And so the verbal cue is seeing the cat, seeing the food. That's the cue. And when this happens, then we go and do this, which is clean out the litter box. Well, the positive impact and why that matters is because we want to be good cat dads. We want to take care of our kittens. We want to make sure that they are healthy and happy and have a really clean litter box. I mean, especially Princess. I call her Princess Perfect. I don't know if you all have listened to, I think it's a kid show. It's I'm not going to sing Princess Perfect, but there's a theme song that goes with it. And so I call her Princess Perfect, and Princess Perfect needs a clean litter box. So what I found with working with entrepreneurs is they have a challenging time integrating new habits, especially with new skills they haven't done before. So if you take someone who's an entrepreneur in sales and they come from a sales background, it's really easy for them to take the thing that they were selling previously and sell something new because they developed the sales skill set. But when you have an entrepreneur who only knows a little bit about that industry, but doesn't know a lot in terms of sales or marketing or whatever buckets that is required to be successful in that industry or that new business that they've created, there can be a disconnect because they don't have the confidence, the belief in their capabilities and abilities that they can actually do the skill set, master it, and be an expert in it. Because here's the truth, you get paid more when you know you're an expert. When you have an undeniable skill set that other people don't understand or other people can't pinpoint, then that's how you get paid more money than everybody else, because you are an expert in that field. You're an expert in that skill set. So what I discovered is the most important thing for a badass business owner to do is to look at what skills that they know they need to be successful in their business and quickly get in a competence loop, which everybody talks about this. Jim Quick talks about it in his book. Brendon Burchard talks about it in High Performance Habits. But a confidence loop means that you have a new skill you're going to learn. And the first thing you do for the new skill is you start to get a little bit of competence. So a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of understanding, a little bit of practical under your belt. When you do, you make your confidence grow. Because people used to tell me that if you're confident, you can do more. The truth is that confidence comes after doing. It's courage that's actually required to take the action to build the confidence. And the degree of confidence that you have in this present day and age for your business and whatever bucket it is, finances, marketing, human resources, vision, culture, whatever it is, where you are currently in your business in terms of your confidence is what you need to have the courage to do the next scary thing in your business that you have fear, doubt, or worry for to move through to build your next level of confidence. So that's how it works. You have courage. The courage gives you the energy, influence, the strength is the best word. Courage gives you the strength to face your fear and overcome it, to develop more competence, which gives you more confidence. And that's how you get in the loop. So in terms of going back to the paycheck example, the most important thing is get into the competence of paying yourself, seeing, like putting it in your checking account or whatever, the payroll person, and seeing the money come through your bank. And that gives you confidence that, okay, that I am making enough money to actually pay myself. And then you can slowly stack and slowly stack. It's no different than a kid who's learning how to ride a bike for the first time. And what does the parent do? The first thing they do is they make sure there's training wheels. Then they give them the helmets and the arm pads. And if you're like, my parents wear the arm pads, the knee pads, the the hand gloves, like you are set, like you're ready to hit a tree if a tree came up and came at you. And once the competence has occurred, where the child understands where the handle wheels are, how to brake, all of that stuff, once that competence has been learned, then the next step is to stack it even further and go to the next level of competence, because you have confidence. And so now you can go to the next level of competence. So training wheels come off, and now we're just riding the bike. And then after the training wheels have been off for a while, then it becomes hopping curbs, going through grass, riding your bike barefoot. But it all starts with the basic principles from the very, very, very beginning. So one key that you are trying to push yourself further than you're actually ready for is the P word that we all come to not love. And that is the word of procrastination. If you are procrastinating in some area of your business, there is a high probability that you are not breaking things into smaller pieces for you to take action. It also means that there is some mindset work to do, because one of the main reasons why we don't do things is because we're wrapped up mentally about the thing we're going to do. And so doing those two pieces, looking at the mindset aspect and also making those pieces smaller, as opposed to jumping off the cliff and praying for a parachute or a landing pad or a mattress, whatever, is to really break things down so that you're not creating overwhelm, and overwhelm often leads to procrastination. So there are three main areas where entrepreneurs and business owners would really do well to break apart whatever goal, mission, task is that they are looking to do. The first one is if anything is going to take them too long. And by the way, when I say take too long, we're talking really about perception. All of this is about perception, because when you think about any task in your business, you decide how long you think it's going to take you and whether or not that's too long. You might say something is going to take you an hour and decide that that's not very long. You could say something is going to take you 15 minutes and say that's going to take too long. So when I'm talking about these, what I really want you to think about is, how do you feel? How do you feel when you are about to do this task? Because if you feel bad, if you feel terrible, if you get all internally warped inside about it, then there's a high probability that how you're thinking and perceiving the situation is not helpful. And if you're not in a good feeling, free-flowing state based in love, you're not going to get the results that you want, and you're more likely to procrastinate and not do it at all. So the first one is, if you feel like it's going to take it too long, you need to make sure that you make it manageable. So if you feel like it's going to take too long, turn it into a manageable task that feels good. Great analogy for this is, this is an Abraham Hicks analogy, where you're going to the buffet and you're trying to eat all the food you're ever going to eat for your whole entire life in one sitting. You're going to get really sick. You're going to get a stomach ache. It's not going to feel very good. And you're going to wish you hadn't eaten all the food. And why do we do that? Is because we're afraid we're not going to eat the next day. We're afraid the food's going to go away. We're never going to have the chance again. And it's all based in lack mentality. So what you need to do instead is really look at, how can I make this task manageable? How can you stack it? So for example, I had a one-on-one coaching client. We're talking about social media marketing, and she was overwhelmed because she wanted to do, her social media marketing for entire 3 months. And I said, Boo, I just don't feel like you're ready to do that yet. I feel like you need to get in a habit of the process of creating the content for like a week. And then when that feels good, then you can go to 2 weeks, then you can go to a month, then you can go to 2 months, then you can go to 3 months. And so the way we broke it out was, Monday, I told her, I said, I just want you to think about social media. I don't even want you to post. I just want you to think about it. I want you to think about what you want to say. and come from a place of what feels good, what feels supportive, what am I excited to share, what is my offer that I want people to know about. Day 2, I told her to look at pictures or graphics that she could post that would match the ideas that she had. That was all on day 2, Tuesday. Wednesdays, I told her, take the graphics, take the ideas, put the 2 together, and write your actual caption or copy for the post. Very easy, very simple. Create the caption for the post. That was day 3. And then day 4 was actually put it in the scheduler. And then day 5, 6, and 7 was all rest. So it was really 4 days. And she did this for a week's worth of content. And it was really supportive and felt really, really, really good to her. So make sure it's manageable. The second thing you want to look at is if it's too hard, it feels too hard or too complicated. And basically what that means is that there's a knowledge gap. It's such a new skill that is very, very taxing on your human brain. People think that the brain works in the same capacity all the time, but it does not. If it's something that you've done many, many times before, it takes less brain power and less energy to actually compute, because your brain is basically the computer for your human body. And it's very, very easy to complete the task. And when it's a new task that you haven't done before, or you haven't done at this level, or something relatively new, it increases the output of your energy that your brain is actually using, and you get more tired. So this is what I would call deep work, deep thinking work. And to begin with, give yourself an hour, 2 hours max with a break of deep work, and be patient with yourself. I remember when I first started doing group coaching calls, I could only do like 1 or 2 in a day, and I was spent. Now I've worked it up that I can do up to like 6 group coaching calls in a day, which is a lot. I don't do that all the time. So make it more digestible if it feels too hard or too complicated. Sometimes it's just helpful just to watch YouTube videos or get a digital course or have someone walk you through how to do something that's already done it before, like a tutorial. That's really, really helpful. And then number 3 is it going to stretch you financially with your resources? So I see this mostly with business owners when it comes to 2 things. I'm going to say 3 things. Investing in something new in their business, like new equipment or a new website, a new whatever, something new to serve their customers, serve their clients, new products. So investing that way. Number 2 would be marketing, increasing ad spends or organic marketing dollars or creation, whatever that is. And the third one would be hiring. And those are the 3 typical places where it can feel like it's a stretch financially for business owners. So what you want to do is you want to make it affordable. So one of the things that I tell the coaching clients that I work with is, okay, so you want to hire an assistant. There's 2 ways to go about this. You can reduce the hours and pay a higher wage, or you can pay a lower wage and increase the hours. It works both ways, because at the end of the day, it's about how much money you're spending and making sure the money feels good. You pay someone more, maybe they get more done in a shorter amount of time and it's better quality work. Maybe you don't need the higher quality work. Maybe it's easy stuff to do. Then maybe you can pay less and go about it that way. But the idea of all of this is that no matter where you are in your business, no matter where you want to go next in your business, you're going to have to develop new skill sets, boo. You're going to have to develop new habits. And I want to encourage you to start small and snack. Stack and snack, okay? I want you to stack those new habits and snack while you do it, all right? I love you all so much. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Brandon R. Foster. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. I love you so much. I will see you next week. Have an amazing day, badass. And thank you so much for listening and joining. I love you, boo. See you soon. You have been listening to Confident AF Live, taking your mindset next level to get next year's results today with host Brandon Foster on transformationtalkradio.com. Listen or watch live every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, where I help badasses like you with big dreams learn to take their impact and results next level, turning those unrealistic goals into reality. Confident AF Live is the gateway to enormous new opportunities and unlimited possibilities. For more information, get in touch with me, Brandon, at BrandonRFoster.com.